Spent 10 years in prison, been out a few years, and I'm going to tell you guys about the time that I was in the county jail. I was a newbie, I was naive, and somehow I got myself in a relationship with a female in the county jail, and I didn't even know I was in it. I mean, literally, I had no idea. I'm not kidding y'all. Here's how it happened. It was scary as hell. Let me set the scene for y'all. So, I am brand new in the county jail. I did not know the ropes. I did not know the life, and it was my first time there. And I go in, I get put in the same room as this girl named Amy. Now, Amy had already been in there about, I don't know, maybe a year, a little over a year. Now, just to give y'all a physical description, Amy is like 6'2". She's big boned, she's thugged out, and she runs shit. She'd been there for a while. The officers didn't bother her. The inmates were scared of her. She was there on a unaliving charge, and I was a little scared, but she was really nice to me from jump. She was nice to me from the beginning. So I was like, okay, she's not that bad. Now, me, I am 5'4", about 122 pounds. I am not super confrontational. I'm not a pushover, but I'm not trying to fight people like Amy, okay? When I get in there, I'm very nice, I'm kind, I'm cordial, I'm, somewhat docile, and I'm just easygoing with her. It's her room. I'm just there visiting. I don't plan on being in the county jail long. I'm hoping, because I don't understand the system yet, that my case will get wrapped up quick. Little did I know. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to ride this wave. This is going to play out in my favor. So I'm just going along with everything. I'm being really nice. And I'm like, hey, this is your room and I'm just visiting. Very early on, she finds out that I'm taken care of. My family sends me money. So therefore I have canteen and hygiene, which is a plus because you're winning if you have money when you're locked up, whether you're in prison or jail. And she doesn't get a lot, but she hustles, okay? She does things. She gets certain kinds of contraband for people. And so she has a little bit of her own. Right away, she starts offering to cook the meals for us. So she takes some of what I have and some of what she has, and she starts making meals. Now, she also starts like saving me a spot in the shower line right behind her. She starts saying, that's my bunkie, that's my girl, I love her, talking about me. And I'm like, oh man, I made a really good impression. Like, she likes me. Okay, I'm doing good. I can survive this. It's not a big deal. In the back of my mind, I'm always like having a little bit of a guard up. I'm also like, I'm doing this. I'm a chameleon and I'm doing this. I'm all the way good, okay? Well, I guess I was a little too good and a little too nice, because people like Amy that know that they have a lot of time, they know they're going up the road to prison, they know that it would be in their favor to have somebody next to them, with them, close to them, that has money and access to finances from the free world. People like Amy want someone like that on their team and in their corner. Amy, to me, doesn't seem like she is into that lifestyle. She doesn't seem like she would have a girlfriend. She was there with her co-defendant. He was also locked up. The co-defendant was her boyfriend, okay? Also, she's a big, huge girl, but she's like a white girl and she's kind of girly. Like, she wears makeup and stuff. She tries to do her hair. So what I traditionally think of someone who was in to the gay lifestyle was like a stud, okay? I saw some studs in the county jail and I could recognize and point them out. Like, they looked like boys, they were trying to act like boys, they were bopping and walking like boys, sagging their pants like boys and things like that. And whether they were white or black, it didn't matter. I could just tell that they were in that role, in that dominant boy role. Amy was not like that. Besides the fact that she was big as hell, she didn't play that dominant role. So I genuinely, y'all, I'm not lying, I didn't think for a second that everything I was doing was leading to a relationship, but it was. So all the time that Amy's like, yeah, that's my girl, I love her, I'm thinking, yeah, that's my girl, like that's my home girl. So I'm not rebuttaling, I'm not straightening her about it, I'm not saying a word, because I'm like, yeah, I'm your girl, yeah, babe, we're girls, you know what I'm saying? We're home girls, we're girlies, we're buddies, we're friends, not I'm your girl, your chick, your girlfriend. It's not what I'm thinking. So I'm going along with it. I'm agreeing with her. I'm not ever straightening the situation. I'm never rebuttaling. This goes on, you guys, for months, okay? Months and months. I do not bond out. And that's like a whole nother story, but I do not bond out. So it goes on for months. So one night after we had eaten, we were locked in because in the county I'm in, they lock you down at 8:30. I wasn't trying to go to sleep at 8:30, so I was bored. So we're up talking and I'm on the top bunk, she's on the bottom. She's like, hey, do you want to come snuggle in the bed with me? And this is kind of like a gray area because you can snuggle with your girlfriends, like your friend girls. You can snuggle together and you guys can lay in the same bed and it's nothing. But When I went to sit on her bed, because I was like, yeah, sure, like, we'll like snuggle in the bed and hang out. I thought we were gonna like sit up and play tic-tac-toe or hangman or something, because we're locked in the room together, just the two of us. So I go to like sit on her bed because she's sitting, and she actually ends up laying down. So she's horizontally laying down, and she rolls all the way back towards the wall, and she kind of like opens her covers and pats the bed as for me to come spoon her. Well, her spoon me. She was trying to spoon me, y'all. She was trying to be the big spoon, and I was the little spoon. And I saw this. It was happening in front of my eyeballs. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? My heart starts pounding. My palms start sweating. In my mind, I'm like, hell fuck no. I don't want a spoon. I don't want to be the little spoon. I don't want to be the big spoon. I don't want to be any spoon, Amy. And I don't know how to tell you this. So, holy fuck, it starts daunting on me. I start realizing, oh my God, she wants something more out of this. How dumb and naive can I be? What have I gotten myself into? So I'm like, you know what, girl, I'm just like actually really not feeling good. I'm kind of hot, like a little sweaty or something like that. I'm just not feeling good. I think I'm gonna lay down in my bed, but we can definitely chit chat. Like, let's talk about some stuff, And I'm trying to just kind of like redirect the whole situation. And she's like, okay. She looks a little disappointed, but she's like, okay. And as I'm sitting on her bed and she, she's rolled down the thing and she's waiting for me to lay down, I turn around to get up and she grabs my arm and she tries to kiss me. She tries to kiss me, y'all. I don't know what to do, so I just quickly turn my head and it lands like right here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Amy. I was like, you're so crazy, girl. You are so silly. Like, y'all, I am trying to diffuse this with all my heart and soul. I'm like, stop. Girl, you're crazy. Stop it. Okay, so I just get on my bunk and I start talking. Just disregard it like nothing happened, okay? Next day, because Amy slept every day until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So next day around 10, 11 in the morning, when I see a sergeant on the female floor, I knock on the glass and I say, hey, I need to come out and talk to you for a second in private. So they know that when you want to talk to them in private, something's going on. So they roll the door and they let me out. I go out there and I talk to the lady and I'm like, hey, listen, I think that my bunkie has kind of like misunderstood my intentions and it's a little bit uncomfortable for me now. So is there any way you can move me to another room? So she kind of laughs it off and she's like, yeah, sure. No problem, Gomez. A couple more hours go by and now it's like around 7 o'clock at night. They come over the loudspeaker and they're like, Gomez, roll it up and move to cell, whatever, like a different cell. The cell was actually on the bottom floor and it was not directly under Amy and mine's cell, but like a little bit to the right or to the left, like a little bit to the side and on the first floor as to where before I was on the second floor with her. So Amy's like, why are they moving you? Like, that's odd. What's going on? And I was like, girl, I don't know. What? That's crazy. I'm like trying to reiterate, like, you're my friend, because I'm still in the same damn dorm with her. So I want to keep the peace. Okay. I don't want this crazy Amazonian trying to like come for me. So I'm like, girl, I have no idea. I don't know what the hell's going on. And this is crazy. And I'm so sorry. And I'm terrified the whole time. And so she gets up out of that bed, y'all, and she starts marching. She's like, oh, I'm going to figure this out. Don't worry, I'm going to fix this. And I'm like, no, don't fix it. Please don't fix it. Lord, please don't let her fix it. Please don't let her fix it. So she gets up real quick. She goes to that glass. She bams on that glass. And she's like, so Miss So-and-so, an officer, which happened at that moment to be the officer that I had spoken with. She calls her. And I'm like, oh, fuck. But I'm thinking there's no way the officer is going to like divulge to her what I said in confidence and in secrecy. There's no way she's going to tell her all that. I mean, that could cause a whole shit ton of problems for me and put me in danger. So I'm really relying on this officer that's like the supervisor of the floor to not say anything about what I had divulged to her. They roll the door. Amy goes out and she's talking to her. Now, the entire dorm is all glass. So the front of it's all glass. So I can see her. They're sitting at a little table out there talking. They're laughing. They're chuckling. They're looking back and forth at me. Now, I have started to roll my stuff up, pack it up, and I'm already moving. I'm pretty much, because they're out there like 15 minutes, I've pretty much moved everything out of her cell, that was hers and mine, into my new cell downstairs. So as all this is going on, they start saying, okay, everybody needs to start getting off the phone, getting out of the shower, start getting ready for lockdown. Amy comes in and her face, just her expression towards me is absolute utter stankifiedness. Okay, she is pissed. She's looking at me like I'm the dirt on the bottom of her shoe. She's just like, like it's scary. She's looking at me like, bitch, it's about to go down. And I'm shitting bricks at this point because I feel like, damn, the officer probably said something and she knows. So Amy marches right on up to her cell and she's up there, she's cussing, she's talking shit. Now, I think I have a few things left up there, but I just leave them. She's just talking a lot of shit and I can hear her because she's being very indirectly loud. And she's like, I don't know who that little bitch thinks she's playing with. That everybody here, all the staff members, they know me. What, she thought they weren't going to tell me? That's fucked up. I'm a whoop her ass, da-da-da. And y'all, when I tell you, I was literally in full-blown fear. But in these situations, you can't show it. You gotta like fight, win, lose, or draw, because holy hell, you'll get picked on and bullied and everything for the rest of your time there. So you have to stand up for yourself. But I don't give a damn. I'm not fixing to stand up to this huge ass girl until she directly confronts me. So she walks down the stairs as I'm like setting up in my new cell. And she sits at a table directly in front of my room. And she's like, Jen, let me talk to you for a second. And I'm like, so I'm like, okay, I have to do this. So I go sit down. And when I sit down, she starts getting emotional. And she's like, I thought we really had something special. I don't know why you'd want to leave me like this in this moment. I have so much going on with my case and stuff. I don't really get close to people. I thought we had something special. I thought we were going to be together. I feel like you're probably going to go to prison too, which in my mind, I was like, skirt, bitch, I'm not going to prison. What are you talking about? I was, but I was in denial. So I was like, I don't know. I'm sorry, Amy. Like, I don't know what to say. I just, I didn't want to say anything to you, to your face directly, because I didn't want to hurt your feelings, because I do genuinely think you're an all right person, but I just, I didn't want it to go somewhere that I wasn't comfortable with, and I didn't want to hurt your feelings either, and I didn't know what to say. And she's like, but we've already been together for months, so what now all of a sudden makes it so different? What, because I tried to kiss you or something? And I'm like, we've been together for months. When the fuck did we have that conversation? When did we get together? When did we discuss that we were together? Like, I am highly confused. And at this point, I'm starting to realize, Jen, girl, you better be careful, because people take a lot of actions very literal here. And when you're doing stuff and you're, eating together and you're doing little favors for each other, like getting a shower spot and saying, I love you, girl, and all that stuff, it means something. So you don't go around playing with people's feelings when you're locked up. And apparently that's what I was doing, and I didn't even know it. So I proceeded to just keep explaining what I was saying and try to sugarcoat it and be kind of nice. And y'all, this girl proceeds to do something that I did not see coming. Well, she tried to do something. I did not see it coming. I thought we were going to end, that conversation on good terms. But it was like in slow motion. I think it was like divine intervention. In slow motion, I see her going to pull a pencil out of her pocket, her shirt pocket. I see her going to pull out a pencil, and I see her kind of flip the pencil like from one position to the other and start going like this, like coming at my face with the pencil lead towards me. And it gets me, and it goes like this. And because I saw it coming for a second, I was able to kind of like matrix my head, and she kind of slid, because the table is like stainless steel. She kind of slid a little bit forward because, she's a big girl. So I guess the force of her weight and stuff kind of pushed her across, and I kind of went sideways off of my little bench stool thing that I was on. And when she kind of lost her footing and I went sideways onto the ground, at that point, she was like, she had lost the pencil as well. And she was like, you're not going to do me like that, bitch. You're not going to play with my feelings. And I already had a mark on my face. I could feel it, but I knew it wasn't bad. Like, I knew I wasn't bleeding. I went like this and I could tell I wasn't bleeding. But I knew, like, this is not over, and it's not going to be over until she stopped somehow. Because she's big and she's not very stealth, she was, it took her a second. She was off balance, and it took her a second to not only find the pencil but get her footing. And by that point, I was up and I had started running. Okay, you guys, I don't care how much of a pusswad I looked like, how soft I looked. I started running from this big beast. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not finna be unalived in the county jail by pencil. Okay, it's not gonna be a pencil unaliving here today. No, this is not happening. Okay, so she starts chasing behind me. Now, she's not as fast as me, thank the Lord, but she's chasing me with this pencil. And finally, I like loop around the entire dorm, and I finally make it back to my cell, because we were right in front of my cell, my new cell. We were right in front of it. So I finally make it back over there. And at this time, people are yelling, people are screaming, because the dorm's pretty big. So by the time I had run around, people were already yelling and banging on the window, that I was about to be pencil, whatever, pencil deft. So at this point, the officers roll the door and come over the speaker and say, everybody get your cells now. Because anytime there's any kind of altercation or situation that could be dangerous, everybody has to get locked down. So as soon as I hear that door pop, like all the doors, they pop, I'm like, yes. So I hurry up, I outrun her, I get to my cell and I slam the door shut, and it's shut, and she's on the other side and she's like, I'm gonna get you. So I'm like, shit, this is not gonna end. This is not going to end. Like, as soon as they roll the doors next time, whether it's tonight or tomorrow morning, she's going to come for me. This is not over. And sure enough, just like I thought, it wasn't. Because when she went and locked herself in her cell because they yelled to her specifically because she was in front of mine talking shit while everybody else was locking their doors, they forced her to go in her cell and lock her door. And she was repeatedly, all the way from my door, all the way back up to hers, talking crazy mad shit. Like, all kinds of threats, all kinds of stuff. And I know for a fact she would have followed through. So I went ahead and I called for a medical emergency while I was in my cell. And I was like, hey, I need to come out. I have a medical emergency. And when I got out there, I said, I know I might be in trouble for calling a medical emergency, but I need to be moved because there is some kind of girlfriend drama going on here that I did not even know I was partaking in. And I don't think it's going to end. Okay. And I don't know what to do about it because I may look soft right now and I may look scared, but I'm not fighting this big beast. I'm just not. Okay. I have stuff to lose. She doesn't. This is not going down. I need to get moved. And if I have to go psych or get in trouble to go to confinement, I will. I'm not staying in this dorm tonight. Period. So that same officer, the one that moved me to begin with and then ratted me out to her, was like, okay, I gotcha. I understand she's a little crazy. I didn't know it was that deep. I didn't say anything like to start anything, but I just didn't know it was that deep. So I'm looking at her like, yeah, I didn't know it was that deep either. Apparently I'm in like a whole full-blown love affair and I didn't even realize it was that deep myself. So we are in the same boat, Miss Ma'am. Okay. So anyway, she tells me to go back inside, roll up, and she's moving me to another dorm. So she ended up moving me to another dorm. Amy didn't go to rec. She didn't go outside. She basically slept all day, stayed in her cell, and that was it. But I think she was embarrassed that not only did I get moved out of her cell, but now I got moved out of the dorm, and the maybe a little connection she had with me was not only gone, but also maybe her monetary gain and her financial situation would have changed a little bit because I contributed a lot because I had money. I think she was just pissed about all of that all around, but I got moved to another dorm. She talked shit through people for a couple of days, but eventually she got over it. She went about her life and I didn't have any run-ins with her again. I didn't even see her again, unless it was through the glass or getting her tray or something, but I didn't see her again. We didn't have any issues. Until, remember when she said, I was going to prison and she was too, so we might as well just, ride this thing out together, and that's what she thought was happening? Well, this was in 2008, and it was when I started fighting my first set of charges, because all of my charges are pretty much the same, but they happened at different times, and so I fought them in court at different times. So the last fight of my charges happened in 2010, and that's what sent me to prison, but this was 2008. Now, when I left there first, and I ended up going to do a few other things, like a rehab and some court-ordered stuff. I had forgotten all about Amy, but eventually I did get sent to prison. Now, it's 2012, and one day, lovely day in prison, I'm in prison now, years later, I'm on the rec field, and I look through the pavilion, and I see a girl, a big-ass woman, sitting in the pavilion. Now, I can tell by the way that this woman is walking, and just by the sheer stature, like, she is huge. I mean, she's not easy to miss, okay, in any scenario. But I can tell, oh my God, she looks really familiar. And then I'm like, it's Amy. Shit, it's Amy. And I'm like, okay, there's like no way all these years later, she's still got this thing going on. She still hates me. She still wants to, with the pencil. So I'm just like hoping for the best. And I'm like, okay, there's enough people around now. And I had a really good friend that was like super powerful in the prison. And she had my back through everything. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to deal with this. Like, we're in the prison now. This is big girl time. I can't hide. I can't run to the officer. So I walk through the pavilion and I look at her. She looks at me. We make eye contact. We lock in. And she's like, what's up, Jen? And I'm like, how you doing, Amy? Good to see you. And she's like, good to see you too. And she was very pleasant, very kind, very meek. She didn't do anything crazy. She didn't bring anything up. And from that moment on, she was normal. We didn't cross paths that many times. And then about a year after that, she got shipped to another institution. So I didn't even see her anymore after that. But the few times I did see her, she was not trying to cause any problems. Thank the Lord. I think it's because she had a new girlfriend. And the last thing you want to do when you have a new girlfriend is bring old girlfriend drama into that situation, because they're going to think you still like your old girlfriend. And then you're going to get hell for that. So even though I wasn't her girlfriend in my mind, I was her girlfriend in her mind. So she wasn't going to bring that up. And she didn't cause any trouble. And she was perfectly fine. And I thanked my lucky stars, because that situation could have ended up really bad. Okay. Really bad for me. And it was a learning experience too. The moral of the story is, you never play with people's feelings when you're locked up, because they don't have much else. A lot of people don't have much else, and they don't have anything to lose. So they're going to take shit really seriously. And when they get something and they hold on to it, they don't want it taken away from them. You also really, really want to be careful of the signals that you put out there and the things that you don't check, the things that go unchecked verbally and physically and everything else, because people will take things the wrong way. Prison and jail is a whole nother world. There's a whole nother set of politics and rules to live by. And you could very well be getting yourself into a situation that you didn't even know you were in. And then you could end up seriously hurt or in the face with a pencil, okay, by a huge girl, big lady. So anyways, that is the story of how I was in a jailhouse relationship that I didn't even know I was in. If you enjoyed my story and you want to hear more, follow me. Leave me a comment if you enjoyed it, so I know that you guys like my content and I'm doing something right. It's free for you guys to support and do those things, but it helps out a ton and it's super encouraging. So thank you guys. I love y'all. I will see y'all on the next one.